Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach. Today we're doing another ECOMI VeVe video. Currently the price is 6077 on a low of 603 and a high of 6279 over the past 24 hours. One of those days that I didn't think I was going to be making a video, then I saw something that made me realize I have to make a video today. I think we're going to be seeing more of those days over this year where I'm just not going to feel it, but we're going to see something and I'm going to have to talk about it because it's so important. Not a bad thing. Overall, let's jump into the topic of this video today. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. In case you haven't watched a video since, the new year, Happy New Year and all the rest of it. I wish you all the most prosperous of New Years. With that being said, I saw on Twitter some talk about VeVe revenue, and someone claimed that David Yu has claimed that VeVe, the VeVe app, will be surpassing 1 billion, not million, obviously not 1 million. 1 million's pretty freaking easy for VeVe to get at this point, but $1 billion in revenue over next year. That's quite nuts to claim. Let's go over it. Okay, Comics and Crypto podcast posting a TV clip, it seems. VeVe official making the national news in New Zealand. Watch the video now. Incredibly exciting. Big shout out to everyone. Let's jump into it.
Digital that represent real.
I'm just going to have it in picture because I don't want to get copyright claimed.
Digital assets that represent real world objects. As Kristen Hall reports, one Kiwi company has already turned the trend into $1 billion business.
To the uninitiated, the world of NFTs might sound
okay, so obviously the most important and most valued NFTs are showing here in the VeVe space.
Overwhelming.
I was originally into crypto a little bit, buying some coins here, and then a friend rang me up and says, "Hey, look, there's a new site. It's called VeVe. Go there and buy yourself a couple of Batmans. You won't regret it."
But it's simpler than it sounds.
It's sort of just a new form of collectibles. I mean, it's a bit like in the old days when people had baseball cards and things. You will pay a lot more for one because there may only be one of them there.
An NFT, or non-fungible token, is a digital asset that represents real-world objects like art.
Oh my gosh, just mute. I wish the producers just muted the background video. We don't need to hear the background video over the presenter. I'm just saying.
Music and videos. They're bought and sold online and have a unique digital code.
We even show you their entire trading history, so you can see.
So they're basically just doing an overview of NFTs right here, it seems.
Every owner.
And it's big business. To date, the most expensive NFT sold, a collection
People,
of 5.
please, come on. Okay, we're gonna. And not that I have anything against people. It's just that it's tiring hearing the same story over.
People are willing to pay.
New Zealanders are in on the
Here we
action
go.
too. Kiwi company VeVe launched its NFT app at the start of 2021.
We've sold 2.8 million editions since January, growing to 1.3 million active users. It allows users.
I've seen them do interviews in this location a few times. Is this a place that I should be aware of in New Zealand? Is it does David Yu own this shop? I don't know. I've seen this this place being done in interviews before.
Trade, buy and sell, and we will be generating over $1 billion revenue in the calendar year coming.
Over $1 billion in the calendar year coming. Let's try that again.
Growing to 1.3 million active users.
It allows users to trade, buy and sell, and we will be generating over $1 billion revenue in the calendar.
$1 billion a year in the coming calendar year, and of course we can't forget what Dan said there about 1.3 monthly active users. I think even with the face with his his emotion / face that I'm seeing him say whilst he's doing it, I don't think he can even believe that it's happening.
Since January, growing to 1.3 million active users.
Anyway.
Investment. Do your homework and don't spend money you can't afford to lose.
Of course. So after watching that, I believed the user who talked about the billion in revenue. I didn't believe it at first. I'm like, are you sure? Did you hear $1 million or something? I'm like, even a million also wouldn't make sense because of course they make millions already. But I want to go over some of I want to go over some context as to how this looks, what this is, etc. And the first thing I thought of when it comes to context is looking at other examples of other incredibly profitable live service services, right? Because that's what VeVe is. It's a live service product where there's multiple updates. People are expecting constant updates because that is what VeVe have offered already. You know, whether it's quality of life updates, whether it's new content updates, there's always something live happening on this live service, right? And one of the biggest and best ways to look at live service is looking at Fortnite, because Fortnite is definitely not the founder of live service by any means at all. You know, you have, you know, games and services prior to Fortnite, but this is definitely a good way to look at it. Of course, Fortnite is a battle royale game, but looking at the revenue itself, we can see here the following. Fortnite key statistics. Fortnite generated $5.1 billion revenue in 2020 for Epic Games, a 37% increase year on year, but still below the $5.4 billion made in 2018. So in 2018, they made $5.4 billion. Before it was banned, Fortnite reached $1.1 billion in lifetime mobile revenue. Fortnite has over 315 million monthly active players, making it one of the most popular games in the world. Now, the monthly active players thing is not true as much, I don't think, anymore. 350 million is more than they have. Although saying that at least was maybe a few months ago. Recently, Fortnite has actually seen its most successful chapter of all time. So maybe we are back to 350 million monthlies. And over 60% of it is a different age bracket, but that doesn't really matter. The main thing is looking at Fortnite, as they've already done $1 billion in revenue, for example, in 2020, right? And they have monthly active users. Actually, when you think about it, and this isn't a surprise, the ratio of users from Fortnite to the revenue they're making compared to what David is suggesting here versus how many users VeVe has. VeVe has 1.3 monthly actives. Crazy, crazy stuff. Now, when Fortnite made, what was it, 5.4 billion, they had 125 million. So it's a very different ratio to consumer spending, but not a surprise because Fortnite is a free-to-play game. VeVe is also free to download, but to experience anything decent, you do, of course, have to pay. With Fortnite, you can literally experience the entire game without having to pay anything. The main payment comes when it comes to social currency, buying skins, and that's literally pretty much it. Buying skins, emotes, but of course I think as well people do spend more of their time in the Fortnite world than people do in VeVe, simply because there's actually a game to play. In VeVe there is no game to play. It's quite simply, of course, a collectibles app right now. Obviously with the VeVe metaverse that we should be expecting to see over this quarter, that'll change things, but realistically, it's actually incredibly impressive on both ends because Fortnite actually has an experience to stay in, and VeVe does have an experience to stay in. Of course, you have the vault, you can change and place things. Of course, you can admire your NFTs, you know, in an augmented reality setting, which you can't do in Fortnite. And I'm not trying to compare them one-to-one because they are totally different services by all means, but they have a similar business model, and it's interesting to see what $1 billion looks like. Now, let's have a look at this right here, because I wanted to have a look at what this will look like as far as comparing this to past and previous performances when it comes to VeVe. Let's have a look at sensortower.com right here. They posted about a month ago, VeVe Collectibles leads NFT trading space on mobile with more than $100 million in consumer spending. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight towards specifically this graph right here. Let's go through it. VeVe gets its golden moment. Of course, that's, you know, while VeVe already had significant momentum before November, its partnership with Disney ahead of the second year anniversary of Disney Plus provided a valuable boost. Consumers flocked to the platform to purchase limited edition Disney Golden Moment NFTs, resulting in the most downloads in a single day of VeVe's mobile app on the collection's drop day on November 9th. Who would have guessed the highest grossing, most valuable IP in the world gets the most people interested? Worldwide installs reached 39,000 on that day, up nearly 5 times week over week from approximately 8,000 on November 2nd. I also have to say that the fact that Disney brought in 5 times week over week actually shows how promising a position VeVe has been in. Because if it's only, I will say it, if there's only 5 times difference, that is actually crazy how much pull VeVe had prior to Disney. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that VeVe didn't need Disney, I'm just saying it's crazy what VeVe did prior to getting Disney. On Disney Plus Day, the app saw 4.4 million in consumer spending on one day. The most it generated in a single day. Now, I believe what I remember with Fortnite as far as mobile is concerned is, I believe throughout 2020, it was averaging at least around a few months, it was averaging 1 million per day. So on iOS alone, I'm not sure how Android was. Maybe that was more. I don't know. This was nearly 8 times the 560,000 it saw 1 week earlier on November 5th. So let's have a look at the worldwide consumer spending in VeVe collectible app in by month in 2021. So we see here, obviously, it just shows, you know, it's very visualized here. Now, November 2021, we see here, of course, it passing the 30 million threshold for the first time ever, reaching $34.5 million in 1 month. Now, that will have been, my guess, VeVe's strongest month ever. And that makes sense because they had the most valuable IP ever on their app. But what does it mean as far as hitting 1 billion? Because 1 billion is a jump up from 34.5 million. Of course, that was only 1 month. But what happens when $34.5 million per month is an average? Well, I've already done the math, and you're looking at roughly around 414 million a year. But that still doesn't meet even half of the 1 billion that David was speaking about. Now, let me be very clear before I go on. I ain't saying I doubt David. Not at all. I'm not saying I doubt any of what David has said here at all, genuinely, because I actually see how, you know, with this stuff, obviously to a certain extent, you have to just sort of, with certain stuff in business, you have to identify key opinion leaders, the smartest people, the experts, and you have to try and listen to them and see what they're saying, right? And oftentimes you can get some really good information from specific people who have the most experience in the field, and David has many, many years of experience, right? So that's amazing. But I also like to try and understand, not just listen to people, I try to understand why someone's saying what they're saying. So why is David Yu saying 1 billion in revenue? I personally can understand how that is possible. And I'm not just taking his word for it either. I can understand how it's possible with the right leadership. Now, is VeVe under the right leadership? Well, considering the percentage increase from 13,000 a month in January of 2021 to 34.5 million a month, you know, and I don't know how December panned out. What's important is, of course, they continue doing what they're doing as far as innovating and bringing more users in. Disney Gold Moments is huge, but there is so much more to look at. There is so many more IPs to go through. And even the IPs that we saw in Disney Gold Moments, they could very much expand through the entire collection of the characters in those golden moments. We had, of course, The Simpsons. We only had one Simpsons NFT. We only had one NFT of each different IP. Imagine if we had the entire cast of different IPs and they released throughout the year. We're also not considering, of course, the other huge partnerships that VeVe has already. We're looking at CLC, for example, Creative Licensing Corporation, one of the biggest licensors for some of the most legacy IP in the world, with IP that will honestly have demos that have spending power, right? We're talking Rambo, etc., which I would guess would be around Baby Boomer, Gen X, Gen Z, not Gen Z, sorry, Millennials, and of course, you know, it will trickle down to Gen Z as well. But the point being is that generally people of that age are going to have more money than kids on Fortnite, for example. So with all that said, do I believe that this 1 billion a year is possible? Hell yeah, I really do, because it's possible. Like, people want to buy their favorite stuff. The main thing is that VeVe needs to learn, and not even learn because they've already learned, but continue developing their power in monetizing fan favorite IP globally. When we have more anime, when we get into gaming properly, when we get into film properly. We are in film properly already, but we're not there yet as far as I'm concerned, and we shouldn't be. We're like 1 year in. We shouldn't be expecting to have everything sorted out yet. 1 year in is crazy what they've done. That being said, I think hopefully I've made the point here. I'm bullish, I'm excited, and I do believe that this is very much possible. And of course, with that being said, I am going to finish this video here because I wasn't planning on making a video, and honestly, my work for that game, Valorant, is, oh god, it's going crazy right now. We're doing mad stuff on Valorant. I'm just saying, if you want to check out Valorant Hub, just type it in. I'll be the first result because I'm the biggest YouTuber on that name. With that being said, if this video was interesting or helpful to you in any way, shape, or form, a like is always much appreciated. And if you would like to be happening in this topic every single day, multiple times today, this is my channel. I cover everything going on every single day. So if you want to be something happening, hit that subscribe button and keep notifications on. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next VeVe video.